It's a tough town in a tough time. His father develops the boy's resiliency by encouraging him to fight. But Dale sees the effects of poverty, neglect, and malnutrition, and decides, while just in his teens, to become a doctor. He also has a desire to make money. Dale meets Helen Jean Pierce, the stunning, elegant daughter of the doctor. They have an instant attraction, and Dale has a lot in common with her father. After 2 years in the Navy, he marries Helen, and her father, Dr. Pierce, hints that when Dale successfully finishes medical school, he may get a placement at the hospital Pierce intends to build.
It's clear Dale is a very gifted medical student at Washington University in St. Louis. He and Helen live very simply. In fact, they postpone having children until after he's finished medical school.
But despite the early promise of their marriage, just 3 years later, Helen surprises friends and family by demanding a divorce. She will not state her reasons. A mutual friend of the couple, Marion Newberry, comforts Dale and soon becomes his new flame. They get engaged and marry in October of 1952. Marion assumes her brilliant husband, who is interning in Baltimore, will aim for a top job on the East Coast. But he announces they're moving just a few miles north of El Dorado. Dale is returning to his rural roots. Dale's work at Hamilton Memorial Hospital wins him adoring patients. He's a success, and people are attracted to him. Dr. Dale and his wife Marion have their first son, Mark Dale Cavanis, born on October 15th, 1954. Their second child, Kevin Dale, follows in 1956. A third boy, Sean, in 1962. And then the fourth, Patrick, in 1966. Dale is offered a job in El Dorado by his ex-father-in-law, Dr. Pierce, and Dale accepts. His wife's family blames her for the split. Pierce is delighted by Dale's impressive qualifications for the hospital. Marianne is disappointed in her husband's choice of rural El Dorado, but she follows Dale's career. A doctor of his caliber in a small town is rare. A cult of Dr. Dale grows, and he's almost worshipped like the mighty life-giving Nile.
Dr. Dale Cavanis becomes known simply as Dr. Dale in the community. He'll do pro bono work whenever it's needed. He's often seen to be just very compassionate. He becomes tremendously successful, and in being successful, he makes a fair bit of money. What he does is he invests in things like cattle farming and even catfish farming. Dr. Dale has a reputation in El Dorado because of his intensity. He's seen as someone who can really go from 0 to 60 in an instant. But this is largely accepted because he's so well liked in the community and he's so successful. But on the other side of it, he's also developed a bit of a reputation almost as a ladies' man, if you will.
Dr. Dale is caught in an affair. His indiscretion discovered by his wife, Marion. has more surprises in store for his wife. She learns that they're broke, as farming businesses are floundering. The family has more bad fortune. The Cavaness home burns down, and while no one is harmed, they lose everything and must move into a hotel, to be followed by a move into 2 trailers, while the insurance company settles a $100,000 claim.
Dr. Dale really seems in no rush to rebuild at this point. His family even wonders where the $100,000 is gone. His father is furious that he's not making the effort to look after his family.
In 1971, Dr. Dale has an accident while driving drunk, and he kills a father and his 10-month-old child. Dr. Dale's sunny future is now in jeopardy. He pleads guilty to reckless homicide and is charged with driving while intoxicated, unlawful possession of a loaded pistol, and shotgun. He receives 2 years of probation and a $1,000 fine. His loyal supporters rally behind him.
I think he felt like he was mostly above reproach. He thought that if he died, so be it. If someone else died, well, that's not his problem.
He's almost clinical in the way he refers to the accident, as referenced by the fact that he said, well, everybody has to die sometime. You would think that this kind of statement would kill a doctor's career in a small community, but Dr. Dale manages to get past it.
Dr. Dale's loyal patients see him more as a victim of unfortunate circumstances than a perpetrator of crime. His reputation is unsullied. But Dr. Dale's second marriage does not survive. Marion moves the boys to St. Louis, and in December of 1971, files for divorce.
From secondhand accounts, there were many allegations that he had both physically and verbally abused her, emotionally abused her for a number of years before she finally left him.
The children struggle in their new surroundings. Drugs are commonplace here. Mark and Sean, who most favor their father's looks, crave their distant father's approval. Mark drops out of school and goes back to El Dorado to work on his father's catfish farm. 1977. The whole family meet in El Dorado for Easter. But Mark is missing. Sean finds the body, dead by a gunshot wound, and police determine Mark's death is a tragic accident. Sean drinks heavily to deal with the trauma and heads out to Oklahoma, but without purpose, sinking deep into alcohol abuse. In December 1983, he returns home and enters rehab. Determined to show his independence, he rents an apartment in St. Louis. But he has trouble finding a job, and by December 1984, his substance abuse is back in full swing. Sean's neighbors notice a visitor entering his apartment. Shortly after, Sean and the mystery visitor decide to take a drive.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. We created Dose for your liver to make taking care of your liver easy. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function so that nothing's holding you back.
Lulu, over $100 for leggings. I'm moving on to Fabletics. In Fabletics, we got this. Fabletics is the feel better legging, the feel good legging, the perfect little boost at the feel good price.
This week only at 80% off in-store and online.
This is the first ever TV commercial for a beach towel, a SandCloud beach towel. Sand-free, extra large, and worth advertising because they're worth buying. Buy them at sandcloud.com.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you about life insurance through the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
The 3 what?
The 3 Ps.
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54 and was a smoker, but quit. What's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I'm 65, retired, and take medications. What's my price?
Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80 and I'm on a fixed income. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan available through the Colonial Penn program. Options start at $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. You cannot be turned down because of your health. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. Options start at $9.95 a month. Plus, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So call now for free information, and you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. Use this valuable guide to record your important information and give helpful direction to your loved ones with your final wishes. And it's yours free, just for calling. So call now for free information.
Call 1-800-600-7900 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-600-7900. There's no risk or obligation. 1-800-600-7900. Call now.
Waiting till Friday to get paid is tricky. Then I heard about Chime. Now I get paid 2 days early, no fees. Early payday guarantees that I can make it to any gig, any rehearsal, anytime. Join me at chime.com.
Home Aglow showed up right on time and did my dishes, my laundry, they even cleaned my windows. I love that you just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
911, what's your emergency?
Iconic true crime series. We knew there was a murderer still out there.
Victims are never forgotten.
There's only one destination to stream your fascination. The True Crime Network. Download the free app.
El Dorado, Illinois. White, El Dorado has the dubious distinction of being a formerly racially segregated sundown town where non-whites are not welcome after dark. Dr. Dale tends to the residents of El Dorado, delivering the babies, caring for the seniors, friends, and neighbors at their best and worst moments, and doing so with compassion. But the Cavanis family itself is troubled with affairs. A broken marriage, a tragic accident that Dr. Dale himself perpetrates, the accidental death of the eldest Cavanis son, Mark, and now Dr. Dale's second son, Sean, is visited by someone who means him harm. Only 22, Sean Cavanis has shown no mercy. Murdered in cold blood. 2 shots fired into his body at close range.
Who could have hated Sean Cavanis that much to have murdered him this way?
The day after Sean's unknown night visitor takes him for a drive, a farmer finds a body lying on its back with both arms resting parallel to the torso. There is no identification present, and the farmer calls police. The body of Sean Cavanis is identified by his fingerprints.
Autopsy report reveals cause of death for Sean was due to 2 gunshot wounds through the back of the skull. Friends didn't indicate that he was intoxicated, but toxicology reports do not lie and indicated that he had a very high amount of alcohol within his system.
It's inconceivable to friends and family that Sean should end up this way. He's described as being a kid at heart and a perfect gentleman. If anyone he loved was ever in trouble, he'd step up and be there for them.
No one can forget that it was Sean, only 15 at the time, who discovered the body of his beloved elder brother Mark, killed by an accidental gunshot wound.
I think there was, scavengers had consumed most of the flesh on the skull, I believe, and some of the vertebrae and arms. Very, very gruesome scene. I mean, any scene like that would be awful, but I think that made it much more so.
Sean's been grappling with the trauma of that event ever since, and it's a tragedy that he's really become a lost soul. The execution-style killing, combined with Sean's alcohol addiction and drug issues, would almost make it look like it was a drug deal or a robbery that went bad. These circumstances could indicate that the killer had no personal attachment to the victim, and they were merely motivated by money.
What kind of trouble was Sean in? And who visits him in his apartment that night? At the time of his death, Sean is dating a young woman, Tina Crowley of St. Louis. Their relationship is getting serious, and shortly before Sean's death, the two are discussing marriage.
Tina reports that it was Sean's dream to give his dad a grandson to carry on the Cavanis name. This detail seems benign on the surface, but ultimately investigators will talk to anyone and everyone that was close to Sean to see if there was a motive.
Police conduct an investigation into the death of Sean Cavanis. They visit Dr. Dale's office and ask routine questions. Dr. Dale reveals he hasn't seen his son Sean in 4 or 5 weeks, and that he was at a large Christmas party the night of Sean's murder. Dr. Dale is a public figure, and he won't be difficult to trace.
And witnesses have Dr. Dale celebrating the upcoming season. He was the life of the party.
The officer follows up with all the members of Sean's family. They recount their whereabouts and when they last saw Sean.
This is incredibly traumatic for friends and family, but every detail is important. Even the smallest detail could lead to a break in the case.
Neighbors in Sean's block are questioned about whether they saw or heard anything suspicious in the building that night.
The painstaking work can ultimately lead to a breakthrough in the case.
It's here, in the apartment building, that a mystery starts to open up. Investigating officers learn about suspicious activity at the apartment block. From an apartment window, 2 tenants notice a suspicious car cruising the area the night of Sean's murder.
And finally, they thought, boy, that seems kind of odd. So they wrote down the make and model of the car and what the license plate was.
The officer gets a match. The driver of the vehicle is ID'd, and the answer is unexpected. Sean Cavanis, son of a prominent local physician in El Dorado, Illinois, who has struggled with addiction, is found shot to death execution style. He's the second Cavanis son dead by gunshot wound. His father, known in their small community as Dr. Dale, is loved and respected by many, though he is known as volatile and has made enemies. On the night of Sean's murder, neighbors spot a suspicious car circling Sean's apartment block. They write down the license plate number and give it to police. Police trace the license plate and learn that the car belongs to Dr. Dale.
Dr. Dale tells police he hasn't seen Sean in over a month, and it's possible that he just drove by the apartment, but the neighbors have more to tell.
That night, the couple report that they hear two distinct sets of footprints leaving the apartment about 3 a.m. They also see Sean and Dr. Dale embrace outside the apartment, and they definitely recognize the well-known Dr. Dale. There's no mistaking that Dr. Dale is with his son, Sean.
He's caught in a brazen lie because a couple of very observant neighbors took the time to jot down a license plate and turn that information over to police. The family reunites to bury Sean, the second son to die of a gunshot wound. Only this time it's murder.
Kevin speaks lovingly about his brother Sean, but his father interrupts him and tells him not to make Sean into something he wasn't, and adds that Sean was an embarrassment to him.
There are all kinds of ways that people react to grief, from anger to sadness. There's just no way to predict what that reaction is going to be.
Police tell Dr. Dale about the witnesses who have destroyed his alibi and have him firmly placed with his son Sean on the night of his murder.
Dr. Dale sticks to his story that he hasn't seen Sean for weeks, and the fact that there are eyewitnesses doesn't seem to faze him. Police keep him in custody overnight so he can think about his alibi.
After one night in the cell, Dr. Dale is finally ready to explain what really happened. Dr. Dale reveals he did visit his son Sean at his apartment on the night of Sean's murder. According to Dr. Dale, father and son hit the Mississippi waterfront bars, drinking hard.
That's an alarming disregard for Sean's alcohol problem, and police have to be concerned about that.
And the story gets stranger. Dr. Dale says, while driving past some fields, Sean asks him to stop the cart because he wants to look at cows. Dr. Dale indulges him. Dr. Dale says Sean asked to see his .357 Magnum, and Dr. Dale gives it to him. Then he goes back to his car to get a soda. It's then he hears Sean cry out. According to Dr. Dale, Sean says, "Tell Mom I'm sorry." He pulls the trigger and shoots himself.
That story accounts for one bullet, but not the second. Dr. Dale explains that the idea of Sean committing suicide would have destroyed his mother, Marion, so he decided to stage a robbery scene.
Dr. Dale says he grabs Sean by the belt, removes Sean's wallet, rolls him over onto his left side, picks up the gun, backs off 2 or 3 paces, and shoots a shot in the back of the head.
He was 22 when he was killed, and then the age of the son of the second murder also was 22.
Well, investigators are shocked by the fact that a father could shoot his own son even after he's dead. But police have come to know this about Dr. Dale, that he is cold and almost clinical when dealing with these types of situations.
Dr. Dale tells police where they can find the wallet and other evidence, and the items are retrieved. Dr. Dale says he puts the gun in his car behind the driver's seat and uses a towel to wipe off his son's right hand to remove powder burns. But then an important detail resonates with police investigating the case, and it connects to the death of Dr. Dale's other son, Mark.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not even in a doctor's office. I'm standing on the streets talking to real people about their heart. How's your heart?
My heart's pretty good.
You sure?
I think so.
How do you know? You're driving a car, you have the check engine light, but the heart doesn't have a hey, check heart sign. I want to show you something. Put both fingers right on those pads. There you go. In 30 seconds, we're going to have a medical grade EKG reading. There it is. That is you.
Look at that. With Cardio Mobile, you can take a medical grade EKG in just 30 seconds from anywhere. Cardio Mobile is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. And it's the only personal EKG that's FDA cleared to detect normal heart rhythm, bradycardia, and tachycardia.
How much do you think this device costs?
Probably $1,000.
$99. Wow, that's impressive.
Checking your heart anytime, anywhere has never been easier. Don't wait. Get Cardio Mobile today for just $79 at cardia.com or Amazon.
Jamaica won $1,462 for losing 101 pounds. Jack won $3,173 for losing 182 pounds. Introducing Healthy Wage, the amazing program that lets you place a bet on your weight loss and pays out up to $10,000.
I played with the calculator. I put in 80 pounds that I wanted to lose. When that number popped up, almost $3,000. Money was a huge motivator.
Money was definitely a huge motivator.
Money is an incredible motivator.
I first heard about Healthy Wage on Good Morning America and on the Today Show, and I thought if those people had success, maybe I could too.
Lose 30, 50, 100 pounds or more.
I lost 100 pounds. I won $5,135.
Now join the tens of thousands of weight loss winners enjoying the benefits of this life-changing program. There are lots of winners every day. Don't miss out. Find out your prize and win real cash for losing weight. Make a healthy wager today and win up to $10,000.
The first beach towel you'll ever love is a Sand Cloud. Sand-free, extra large, extra soft, and 10% donated for every towel sold. So the best towel under the sun supports the best causes under the sea. Get yours at sandcloud.com.
Bras fit small-chested women like this.
This is atrocious gapping. What is all this extra space for? This. I don't look good. I don't feel good.
We got you. Meet Heather.
Now I'm having a good time. I feel lifted, scooped, supported.
Specially designed for AA to B cups. No more cup gaps or awkward fits. The bra reinvented for small boobs. Get up to 50% off our Memorial Day weekend sale.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
Coming up next on True Crime Network. Dr. Dale Cavanis claims he hasn't seen his son in over a month. But Dr. Dale is caught in his own lies. Dr. Dale confesses to police that he covered up his son's suicide to make it look like murder, to spare Sean's mother pain. But when police find out that 7 years earlier, Sean's brother Mark is also found dead of a bullet, both brothers dead at 22, they decide to look into Mark's death, which was deemed accidental at the time. Perhaps it was not an accident after all. Police call Kevin Cavanis on December 13th to tell him that his brother Sean has been shot dead. Kevin blurts out that he can't believe the nightmare is happening again.
That's not an answer most people would give when they would be told a family member had been shot to death. So that was something that really piqued that investigator's interest.
Kevin Cavanis tells police that in 1977, he lost another brother, Mark, to a bullet. Now both brothers are dead. Police decide to look at the case from 7 years earlier when Sean's brother Mark dies by a gunshot wound. Two brothers die 7 years apart, both age 22, both lost in shooting deaths. Police want to see if they can gain insights into the recent murder by looking at what happened to Mark Cavanis in 1977. Dr. Dale tells the police a bizarre story of a cover-up. But there's another possibility. Dr. Dale is a known philanderer. Rumor is he's had many lovers. He has a very strong personality and has made enemies. Dr. Dale may have made the wrong person angry. Someone out there could have a grudge against the Cavaness family. Dr. Dale could be hiding someone that no one, as of yet, can imagine.
The term Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is probably overused this day and age, but that was truly a comparison made in news articles at that time. By all accounts, he was very easily angered when he was in a bad mood.
The divorce of his parents has a profoundly negative effect on Mark, the eldest son, and he drops out of school. This doesn't go over well with his high-achieving father, who considers him a no-good pot smoker. Dr. Dale's ex-wife Marion has telephone conversations with her ex-husband that are diatribes against Mark. Mark becomes depressed. Still, Mark keeps trying to earn his father's love. After the divorce, Mark moves back home to work for his father and becomes a permanent farmhand at the catfish raising operation. Though some say Dr. Dale treats Mark no better than any hired hand. Still, Mark keeps trying, and he's excited to bring the entire family together again for Easter in El Dorado in 1977. But when they arrive, Mark is nowhere to be found. His family looks for him.
Sean is excited to have them all together again, but it's strange to him that Mark isn't there. What's even stranger, though, is what his father says.
Dr. Dale tells them that he has a feeling deep inside and is sure that Mark is dead. True to Dr. Dale's prophecy, they find the decaying corpse of their eldest brother lying near his truck.
But the actual body, unfortunately, was outside of the truck, and scavenging animals had heavily damaged the corpse and had to be confirmed through dental records. They knew it was him when they found him.
Police surmise that Mark took a single gunshot blast to the chest when he pulled the barrel of the gun towards himself.
Because of a lack of evidence, the death is deemed accidental.
Some facts that would not have held up to scrutiny by today's standards, had they had the ability to process DNA at that time like they do in 2002, probably wouldn't have stood up in court.
But Kevin argues against the fact that the coroner ruled it an accidental death because Mark was far too experienced with firearms to have ever handled a firearm in that way. However, there's no other theory that could be proven.
Just months